She was an avid dancer, poet, writer, singer.
Tracy Simms remembers her daughter Samantha Simms-Somerville as a gentle and kind person. At just 18 years old, Samantha died in April 2021 after attending a social gathering at an apartment in Victoria.
Her last photo was actually taken at 10:30 p.m. on the bus, looking bright and cheerful, with straight hair and smiling, looking sober.
Hours later, both Samantha and a friend were rushed to the hospital. While a friend recovered, Samantha did not. The case was closed a year later, citing accidental overdose as the cause of death.
She didn't have any drug history, any history of drug abuse.
But new findings from the BC Coroner's Service now reveal that Samantha and her friend were intentionally given GHB, a date rape drug mixed with alcohol, something Sim says she suspected all along.
I watched my daughter die in front of me, and if anyone is a parent, to sit and watch a child die and feel so helpless is the most traumatizing thing.
For Simms, the pursuit for justice began the moment she saw her daughter in the hospital. Driven by her belief that her daughter's death was no accident, she started doing her own investigation.
I had no choice. I was a desperate mother that needed answers for her child.
Simms strongly believes the initial police investigation wasn't handled adequately. Her growing frustrations prompted her to file a complaint against some of the officers involved in the case. The Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner is currently investigating. In a statement, Victoria Police say they submitted all relevant information from Simms' findings to Crown Counsel, who ultimately chose not to pursue charges. Police say it is too early to determine if the case will be reopened. Simms says she will continue to fight for justice until she sees criminal charges laid against those involved in her daughter's death.
Ultimately, this is about justice for my daughter, Samantha, and Brooklyn, and many others as well.
Shaurya Chetri, CBC News.
The rainbow way, a pine in a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow skies, a blue dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, oh, way above the chimney tops. That's where
Thank you everyone for coming today. I know everybody has busy lives and families and jobs, and this is hopefully going to be a joyful occasion where you learn a little bit more about my daughter. But of course it's It's sad. I just wanted you to know about the colours. Samantha had a bear from birth, well, pretty much birth, and it's Pugsy, it's yellow. That bear went everywhere with her. On holiday, it had its own passport. It got left behind in stores. Mind you, she did once before, when I was shopping for Royal Ascot. But, so the yellow is for Pugsy, and also her yellow memorial rose that I chose for her. Purple was her favourite colour, purple and black. Well, I'm pretty sure it is. She hasn't really got a choice now. But I am nervous, but I'm going to do my best. My biggest fear actually tonight was seeing you all your faces, and I've walked out without my glasses, so you're just one big blur of yellow right now, which is perfect. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking to you about my daughter, Samantha Krysia Simms-Somerville. She was 18 years old. She was born October 9th, 2002. Samantha was a sweet, gentle, kind, generous, unconfrontational, forgiving, beautiful, innocent soul. Sam expected nothing from anyone, yet she gave so much to everybody else. Sam had many, many talents. She was a gifted dancer, a singer, an artist, a story writer, poet, cook, baker, and she was a peacemaker. Sam was the hardest baby to carry. I was sick, I had everything going, you name it, I had it. Elephantitis, you name it, I was a walking disaster. She was born with a head of jet black hair and beautiful olive skin. I thought, oh yeah, she's not going to have my pale skin and hair. Well, the hair fell out and she had jaundice. So she got exposed to her very first and last sunbed at 4 days old. So then, yeah, she went back to a bald English white rose. Sam was the easiest baby. She was the easiest toddler. I had her in such a routine. She was just, she had her faults, don't worry, they're coming. She didn't cry, she never made a fuss. And I've just got so many proud memories of Samantha. Actually, there's too many to mention. But one of them that will stick in my mind, and I will never, ever, ever forget this, is when she was 4 years old and we were in Tesco. So if you're from England, you'll know what Tesco's is. And we were at the line-up, by the sweets, candy. There's people behind us, people in front of us. And she said, Mummy, safe word. Thanks, guys. These friends of Samantha, they have this avocado story. I don't know what it's about, don't want to know, but that's the safe word. So if you hear it, it's to stop this. So we were at a line-up, and it was very busy. We'd just come back from school. And she said, Mummy, is it the weekend yet? Avocado! And I said, no, darling. How many more days, Mummy? I said 3. 1, 2, 3. And that was it. Everyone behind and in front, they were astonished. I was a bit of a tyrant, if you can believe that. And she got sweets on the weekend. Avocado. Yeah. Right. Actually, the funny thing was, I forgot to say, she's an amazing cook, and one of her best things was actually making guacamole. We talk about that a lot, like it's true. Sam was a really understanding child, and she was always grateful for the smallest gestures. The funny thing was, Samantha never wrote Christmas lists or birthday lists. And I'd always say, Samantha, what do you want for Christmas? Mum, I don't mind. Just something to do at Disney. I said, come on, you must want something. She got presents, don't worry. But it was Hannah Montana and, what was that boy band? Guys, what was the boy? One Direction. Justin Bieber, Manchester United. I mean, she was born into Manchester United. I think when I gave birth, my dad walked in and put Manchester United shirt on her, the keychain, and that was it.
Charlie,
Yeah, she never really wanted anything, and she loved reading and writing and drawing and poems and getting dressed up, and you know, she was a single child and I worked a lot, and she liked setting up teddies, and she was amazing. Even when I used to go on the road, because yes, I was a single mum and I always had at least one job. When I'd go on the road hairdressing, she'd come with me and she'd sit there and she'd be so polite and not ask for anything. She was such a good toddler, just so calm, relaxed, easygoing. Again, another trait from her mother. Oh yeah, she did ask for one thing. When we moved to Canada, I guess Lululemons are a thing here, right? Mum, can I have a pair of these pants? Everyone's wearing them at school. They're called Lululemons. Yeah, okay, no problem. Go to the store. Oh wow, like $110 for a pair of leggings. Okay. I never said that to her, and she was apologising. Mum, I'm sorry, they're so expensive. I said, Sam, it's okay. But I wanted to tell her that I'd buy a whole outfit for that. But Samantha was really spiritually gifted, and she was very sensitive. These beautiful traits shone through in the respect that she had for everybody and how she treated others. Her only wish, always, was for everyone just to be happy, feel comfortable and at ease. And I'm told by many people, in writing, in messages, in person, that when Sam walked into her room giggling, she lit up the room with her smile. She gave hugs to everyone, compliments to everyone, asked if they were okay. Are you mad at me? That was her thing. Are you mad at me? She just wanted joy and peace. She saw the good in everyone and always turned a negative into a positive. My daughter would defend anyone. She did not have a bad word to say about anyone. She did not gossip. She kept secrets and would never lie to Nanny Gina when I'd say, just tell Nanny I'm in the bath. She never passed judgment on anyone either. Bullying was a huge no-no for me growing up and between Sam and I really instilled this into Sam, so much so it actually really slapped me in the face one time. We were out having dinner and Sam was a vegetarian at the time, and I guess the person that was looking after us, Sam told me that she bullied her a little bit at school and some other people. So anyway, obviously as a mother, you know, I'm like, oh. So we went about, we finished dinner, and anyway, Sam ran out. And I went out after her and I said, what's wrong? And she said, Mom, oh my God, you're so embarrassing. I said, I didn't do or say anything. She said, Mom, your face says everything, okay? A young lad reached out to me and he told me a story about how he'd moved to Canada. His English wasn't that great, and Samantha would go over and sit with him and talk to him. Now, Samantha told me about this young lad, and I said, you know, Samantha, just chat to him. She says, Mum, I do. I go and sit and talk to him. So when that came through as a post, it just made me remember just, you know, who Sam was. So many have become new friends or through Sam's story and been so supportive and become good friends. It's like you guys that keep me all going, you know. It really is. Sorry, I'm getting there, I'm nearly done. So Sam loved all creatures, big and small, we all know that, and dogs were her absolute life. Ginger, who was the family dog, I think the Fawcett dog, it was a couple of people's dogs. It was passed around, that was her absolute best friend. She spent all her pocket money on Ginger, and Ginger even had her own Instagram page. I don't know if you've seen that. And Sam wasn't a big social media person, that's sort of as far and as big as it went. She actually hated pictures being taken, she didn't like posting, she didn't like attention, so having her face everywhere tonight, she might be a bit ticked off with me, but hopefully she knows it's for the greater good, and it's because we love her and we want to remember her, and that's my only wish. Sam also loved nature and flowers and even weeds. I feel her when I'm at her memorial at the lagoon that her lovely friends set up for her, when I'm even picking out the bamboo, of just her being mad at me. That's why carnations are so fitting, because they lasted longer. She just believed everything she should live. But then again, when I asked her to weed, that was housework, and that could have been a really good excuse. Okay, flies. I think everyone sort of knows the story about flies. You couldn't kill a fly. You could not kill a fly. Okay, this haunted me a week ago. So she gave me a great big lecture about why you shouldn't kill flies. So about 5 days ago, 6 days ago, this is a true story, okay? This is a true story. There was a little tiny fly next to my bed. It was a little bit bigger than a fruit fly, and I naturally went to squat it, and it landed in, you know, the ring that your glass makes when you've got water in it? Oh my God, I panicked. I'm like, oh my God, this fly. I'm trying to shoo it out of the ring of water, and I'm blowing on it, and John's like, are you trying to give it a kiss alive? I'm like, oh my God, this fly, Samantha would just go nuts. And this is true, and it lived for 2 days next to my bed. True, yeah. Maybe this explained her bedroom as well, because there was a lot of living things in there. In fact, I have her white desk and chair, and it's the same desk from when she was 7 years old that she did her homework at, she did her makeup at. I had it was at her service, and I have it as my office. And a couple of weeks ago, I actually managed to go through it for the first time. I wish to God I'd gone through it sooner, because Subway now have a new logo. There was a lot of stuff in there. Sam had a really great work ethic. She babysat, walked dogs, but I told her that she should get a job. You know, you have to start somewhere. Some people may agree with this or not. You know, McDonald's, Wendy's, Tim Hortons, Subway. And I helped her write a resume, and we drove up to Tim Hortons. And they weren't hiring. I said, well, you know what? You've got to call, and you've got to check in again. You've got to seem keen. So she did a few times. I said, come on, we're going to drive up there. So she walked in, and she was gone a long time, and she came out, and she was so proud. She said, Mum, I got the job. She was 13. She was never late for work. And I'm embarrassed to say I'd asked her to call in sick a couple of times so we could go on Granddad's boat. And she's like, Mum, I can't believe you would say that. That means they're short-staffed and they're old. They're like 40. And I'm like, oh, okay. She was always on time, and they loved her so much. Within 2 months, she was a trainer. I think she had just turned 14. One time, there was a lady kicking up a real fuss. Her bagel wasn't hot enough, it wasn't brown enough, coffee wasn't black and white enough. And there was a line-up, and Sam was trying to calm her down, offer her everything she possibly could. Nothing worked. She said, this is how she relayed it to me. Obviously, I wasn't there. She said, Mom, I just gave her food for free and made it fresh. I'm like, oh, Sam, that was so nice of you. She said, but I got in trouble. The manager said I'm not allowed to do that without permission. I said, well, why didn't you, Sam? You should ask permission. And she said, Mum, it was busy. Like, there was no time for that. And I told her I'd pay for it out of my salary. You little girls, what would I do without you, eh? And these are happy tears, because remember, she's on a rainbow, on unicorns, stealing sparkly water from the pond, leaving you messages with bad words in them, and presents. These are my superheroes here. Many tell me that, you know, Sam's gone, but she's left people with life lessons and, you know, memories, and she's had such an impact on people. I have mothers and parents tell me that through Samantha's story, it makes them appreciate, you know, their only child or their children, and just a few people have said nice things. I can't get my words out how I wanted them to. Can you imagine what Sam's doing now? Spreading her love in the 3 years she's been gone. I can only imagine what she is doing. Probably amazing considering what she accomplished and left behind in 18 years. I think you need to start throwing them at me, actually. Then I can throw them back, because people are falling asleep. No, I'm just kidding. Sam, I hope you're happy in love, in a wonderful job, a home. Maybe you're engaged, maybe you're planning a wedding, and maybe you're going to have children. And what an amazing mum you'll be, because you always loved children and you loved your cousins so much. I'm so sorry, Sam, but I won't be able to be with you in those special moments or by your side. But know that these milestones you do and you get to see, but not share down here, or in my mind, because that's what I think about all the time. You're always on my mind, and I don't tell you enough because it's too painful. But I love you very much. I'm not with you, but I'm serving a very different purpose and cause down here now for you. Samantha, you were my greatest gift and accomplishment. My joy, pre-16 and a half. I know you don't need to hear this, but I miss you, I love you, my heart is broken, and I will never be complete again. Not without you, but what I am is I am your mother, wherever you are, here or elsewhere. I will always fight for you and protect you and cherish you. Sammy, I love you so much, and more each day. Please don't be mad at me for doing this. That's it. Thank you, guys. Well, what we're going to do now is I spoke obviously about the fly story and singing. Thank you, babe. And we're just going to play them now. They're very short, but Samantha had a wonderful voice, and she sang songs that were really, you know, for an old soul, and it all makes sense now. And you'll hear one of the songs and you'll wonder, did she know? Like, did she know? Was she here for a reason? She served it, she's gone, and did she know? So I'll let you listen to them, and you'll learn about why you shouldn't kill flies.
It shouldn't die or be killed.
Just because they're smaller doesn't mean you can whack them with a square footer. Like, just because I'm a kid and I'm smaller than you, is that okay to whack me with an electric square footer?
Electric what?
Square flutter.
Squire flutter.
Would you like? I wouldn't like that. It's just because I'm smaller.
So what should we do with them?
Just because they're smaller doesn't mean they don't have feelings.
Oh, so what should we do when? Oh, that's nice. What should we do when they're flying around the house?
Just let them go unless they're bothering you.
Let them go and what?
Unless they're bothering you.
Alrighty.
Like, really, why would they? What do they do to bother you either? We go around town walking. We don't bother anybody.
Okay, thank you for that, Samantha.
A woman who has been fighting to find out what happened to her daughter is relieved tonight. The BC Coroner's Service will reopen the investigation into the 18-year-old's death, which was originally deemed an accidental overdose. As CTV's Anna McMillan reports, her mom believes she was drugged with the intention of sexual assault.
They're all my favourite photos.
Tracy Sims says her daughter was love, joy, and compassion personified.
She was almost too good for this world.
Here's Samantha Simms-Somerville at 9 telling her mom off for swatting a fly.
Just because they're smaller doesn't mean they don't have feelings.
She died 3 years ago at the age of 18.
I believe they were drugged with the intention of sexual assault. That's me. And that's Samantha.
Sims says Samantha and a friend were taken to a small party in Victoria in April of 2021. She says some of the people there were known drug traffickers.
They did not know any of these men.
While Samantha's friend survived, Samantha died from a fatal dose of GHB, often referred to as the date rape drug.
There were bruises on Samantha in places that were suspicious and seemed related to a sexual assault.
Victoria Police investigated and closed the case in September of 2022. No one was ever charged.
It was absolutely inadequate. In fact, it's generous to say that they actually even investigated.
Sims says she was told there wasn't enough evidence.
Which blew me away based on the evidence that I had received. I had given the police, other witnesses had given the police statements that were given. It just absolutely baffled me.
She has texts from people who were at the party saying the women were drugged. Sims also says Vic PD wiped Samantha's phone, and she has a record that shows an officer signed off on destroying Samantha's belongings.
From makeup to jewellery to the last thing she wore, her backpack, all her DNA.
BC's coroner classified Samantha's death as an accident.
I said, please, this case needs to be reopened.
On Tuesday, the coroner responded.
They said, we will be reopening Samantha's case. And the emotion, I can't even explain to you how I felt. I fell to my knees.
Hi.
She hopes the coroner's renewed probe concludes her daughter's death was a homicide. Sims has also filed a Police Act complaint against 4 officers involved with the case. Vic PD says it can't comment on an active investigation.
And I just want to grieve.
Something Sims hopes she can do soon, in peace.
And I will never, ever stop fighting for you until my last breath.
Anna McMillan, CTV News.
I got my tickets for the long way round. 2 bottles of whiskey for the way, and I sure would like some sweet company. Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow, what you say? And I'm gone. When I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
So Isaiah 58:11 says, "The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail." This verse tells us that God will continually guide and provide for us. God is a well of love that never runs dry. When we go through valleys, through loss, and difficult times, God will never leave us nor forsake us. He will restore us into beautiful garden that He's created us to be.
And the second verse is from Psalms 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. And this verse reassures that even in times of deep sorrow and grief, God is near to those who are hurting. The passage acknowledges the deep pain of loss while also offering the promise of God's presence, salvation, providing strength and comfort to those who call on Him, and are mourning for the loss of a child, just like Samantha. Lord, I pray for your presence here. I pray for strength and comfort beyond what we can understand, that you reveal yourself to Tracy and John as they continue in this journey of grief. Let your glory be known in this, in your name. Amen.
Good evening. Thanks very much for being here. The BC Coroner Service is reopening an investigation into the 2021 death of a Victoria teen who died from a toxic combination of alcohol and a date rape drug. Her mother has fought for years to have the case reopened. She says her daughter was intentionally drugged, and the previous Victoria police investigations ignored important evidence amounting to negligence. Corey Sidaway reports.
Samantha Simms-Somerville loved to sing and dance. She was empathetic, protector of things big and small.
Just because they're smaller doesn't mean you can whack them with a squash butter.
At 18, she was a bright light, snuffed out too soon.
She was too good for this world.
In 2021, Samantha and a friend were rushed to hospital from the same party and put on life support. The date rape drug GHB and Rohypnol coursing through their veins. Her friend recovered. For Samantha, the mix was fatal. Samantha's mom maintains she was murdered.
My daughter did not do this willingly. She was 100% drugged.
Tracy Simms believes her daughter and friend were deliberately recruited by a mutual friend, invited to a party on Yates Street with older men they didn't know and lethally drugged. Several of the men who were there that night are known to police.
It's affected everything. It's not just taken my daughter's life, it's taken my life.
In September 2022, police closed their investigation without recommending charges. The coroner's service concluded the death was accidental, basing their results on the police investigation.
The police's investigation, there was no investigation. They told me they'd gone to Crown. We found out they never even submitted a formal file closure to the Crown or the evidence.
The province's police watchdog is now investigating. Victoria Police say that prevents them from updating Check News on the file. But Tracy says she can't trust that OPCC investigation because Victoria Police is investigating their own.
It's going to be completely, in my opinion, a biased investigation.
This week, the coroner told Tracy they'd be reopening their investigation that found Samantha's death accidental in light of new evidence. For Tracy, the update is bittersweet.
It's just been so much. I've had to challenge and question and appeal every single solitary part of the system. And when I get so far, there's another hurdle.
Still cautious, Simms now waits for the results of the new coroner's investigation and the ongoing police complaint.
They've put me through hell. I'm not even now able to grieve my daughter because I'm having to do all this.
This mother, not done yet, in the fight for justice for her daughter.
You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
Hi everybody. I hate public speaking, so bear with me during this. But my name is Caitlin. I was a close friend of Sammy's, and today I would like to read a piece that I read for Sam at her memorial service. As you all know, a year ago, which is when this service happened, on April 10th of 2021, we as a community lost an angel, a sister, a daughter, a best friend, and the most beautiful human being that I've ever met, both inside and out. This past year without her has been one of the hardest years of my life. I find myself constantly thinking about her. When something exciting in my life happens, she's the one I want to share it with. When something sad happens, she's the one I want to go see. And when I see funny videos on my phone, she's the one that I want to send them to. Sam was one of my best friends, and I had been friends with her since I moved to Victoria about 5 years ago. She was the most amazing human being that I have ever met and had such a unique personality. She was truly and always will be unforgettable. Sam only ever had love for people and always knew exactly how to change your mood around when you were feeling down. She made you feel safe and loved and appreciated, and she would never let you doubt your worth for a second. I loved her for that. I loved everything about her. She had the most amazing sense of humor and the most adorable giggle that I've ever heard. I would do anything to hear her laugh one more time. She had this way of lighting up a room when she was in it. Anyone who ever met her loved her. She had the most bubbly personality and got along with everyone. Naturally, I'm a very introverted and shy person, but Sam helped me to break out of that shell. She accepted me for exactly who I was and brought out a side of me that I couldn't even bring out myself. Sam was one of those friends that you have that you could go forever without talking to, but as soon as you spoke again, it's like you had spent no time apart. She was more than just a friend to me. I thought of her as family. She stood by me in some of my darkest days of my life. Even when I was isolating myself from the world, she would continue to reach out to me and check on me time after time. She constantly reminded me that she would always have my back and be there for me no matter what, and she meant it with her whole heart when she said this. I couldn't thank her enough for this, as it meant the world to me. She would do anything for the one she loved. It breaks my heart knowing that Sam's life got taken from her so early, that she will miss out on so many chapters of life. We still had so much to do together. We were going to travel the world together and go to so many more festivals, and she was going to be one of my bridesmaids one day. Since her passing, it has been very hard for me to accept that she is truly gone. Oftentimes I find myself imagining that she's just in England visiting her dad and that she's going to be back one day. Then reality hits and I'm forced to deal with the heartbreaking truth. The day that Samantha passed, a group of her friends and I all gathered together at the Esquimalt Lagoon. We were all in pieces. We went to a spot down the beach that we all used to go to hang out together at. We all then worked together to build a huge wooden cross out of logs from the beach for her. We then decorated the cross and wrote messages on it with a Sharpie. We posted pictures of her onto the cross and put some of her favorite things on the ground below, including a Buddha statue, flowers, and a candy bracelet, which is a type of bracelet that you make when you go to raves, which she also loved, and lots more things as well. We cleared a path leading up to the cross, which had logs as the borders. We also wrote messages on all of these logs and glued crystals down onto them. After we finished making the cross, each of us wrote letters to Samantha, which we stuck into a bottle and threw into the ocean after saying our goodbyes. It was a very heartbreaking time for all of us, but it was also comforting hearing all of us share our stories of Sam with each other to remember her. Before leaving her cross that day, I wrote her a letter and posted it onto her cross. Since that day, I have left her many letters that I continue to post on her cross. I've written to her on her birthdays, Christmas, and many other times where I felt like I wanted to update her on what was going on in my life. I write to her through all of my emotions, when I'm sad, when I'm happy, and I talk to her in the same way as I would if she was right in front of me. I like to think that she's able to read them wherever she is, and that it's a way for me to keep in contact with her. Before wrapping up today, I have written a letter to her that I would like to read out, and hopefully it gets to her wherever she is. Dear Sam, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I miss you so much, as always. So much has happened since I last wrote to you. I finally passed my end test and can drive now. I remember when Landon, Katie, you and I were all going to Faded, and your dad let us drive to the ferry terminal when he was dropping us all off. You had just got back from England, and I don't think you had driven yet since you had been back. As soon as you pulled out of the driveway, you started driving down the wrong side of the road. I will never forget that memory with you. Seeing your reaction after realizing what you were doing was priceless. I wish I didn't take moments like that with you for granted. In May, Landon, Katie, Robert, and I are all going to Rez's concert in Vancouver. It's going to be so much fun, and I really wish you could be coming with us. But I thought it would make you happy to know that we were all going together. I think one of my favorite memories with you was after we left Contact Festival and we had just seen Rez play live for the first time. We were walking back to our hotel and everything just felt so surreal. We didn't want the night to end and we were both so full of happiness with not a care in the world. On our walk home, we took time to ourselves and just danced around and had the most amazing walk back to the hotel. I would do anything to go back to that weekend with you. I really hope you are happy and doing well wherever you are. I promise to write to you again soon. Sending all of my love to you, Katie. That's the end of the memorial, but I wrote a little piece afterwards as well. Since Sam has passed, I wrote this piece for her, and when I wrote this piece for her memorial, I have had the opportunity to learn what she was like as a child, and have learned that ever since she was young, she'd always been so loving, kind, and trusting. So much has happened since Sam has passed, and I constantly find myself thinking of her and wanting to tell her about things that are going on. I miss her so much and will never stop thinking about her. Her memories will forever be something I cherish. It has been so amazing being able to connect with Sam's mom, Tracy, who organized this beautiful vigil. Tracy and I have become very close, and I cherish our relationship so much because it allows me to learn so much more about Sam and to hear silly stories of her as a child. It is amazing to see so many people here today to remember Sammy and share memories about her. Thank you so much to everyone for coming and for listening to me speak, and I hope that Sammy's memory will live on through all of us forever.
I'm up here because I wanted to say some things tonight. I never got to meet Sam, but I've heard many things about her, like how she was a lovely young lady. I wish I got to meet her, Rest in peace, Sammy.
I'm a family friend of the Sims, Tracy and Samantha. Tracy asked me to read a poem that she had written for Samantha. But as a side, I just wanted to say this one memory I have of Sam. Occasionally I'd give her a ride home from school because my daughter was in a grade below her, but they were friends, and I'd see her and I'd be like, hey Sam, hop in. And as being a mom, I'm always doing the seatbelt check, so I look in my rear view mirror and check that all the kids have their seatbelts on, and I'll just never forget her eyes. They're just so beautiful. They were the most beautiful blue eyes I've ever seen. And I just can't forget how gorgeous they were. And I'd say, Samantha, your eyes are stunning. She's like, oh, Karen. Okay, so here's my poem. This was written by Tracy, her mom. When I'm quiet, sad alone, from the corner of my eye, you'll touch my cheek and point my face up to the sky. It looks so bright, so clear, no clouds, and I'll think of you, your kind, sweet face, such perfect skin, eyes so big and blue. When you're dancing way up there, laughing, running free, you'll feel a touch upon your cheek. Stop and smile. It's me. I know you hurt to see I'm lonely, lost, but yes I am. My heart is truly broken. Such pain without you, Sam. I gaze into the garden and watch my yellow rose, pretty like you, Sammy, so that's the one I chose. I'll cherish, love, and water it, just so you should know, blossoming its yellow petals as I watch it grow. My days are long and full of grief since you grew your wings and flew, seeing your pictures all around me, not accepting that it's true. I wonder, when I lay and sleep, are you close to me or near, whispering in my ear, don't cry, Mom, as you wipe away a tear. I needed more time to love and hold you, as it would be my last, but then you went without a warning, a feeling I just can't grasp. Do you understand how much I love you, my only child, my daughter, with so much more to do and see before your time was shorter? My only wish is that you're happy, at peace, calm, and safe. I wish you could send me pictures of this tranquil place. I hope that when my time has come, I will grow wings of my own to see you at the stairs of heaven saying, hurry, Mommy, you're home. I'll see your smile and open arms and fall into your embrace. My broken heart will be whole again, only once I see your face. So now I'm ready to let you go. I know it's time you rest, but that doesn't mean I will not pine or cry or miss you any less. I can't wait to see you, your warmth stronger than the sun. There will be no worries, no fears or hurt when I hear your voice say, Mom. Until I see you again, dear Sam, and we walk side by side together, I will always love you. That will never stop, for eternity and forever. I'll watch your rose, know you're doing well. When summer brings its bloom, it's not goodbye, my darling Sam. Mom loves you. See you soon.
I met Sammy when I was working at a tanning salon. She would come in so polite, sitting perfectly while her mom had a tan. At first she was shy, and I would chat with her. And I remember it was so hard to hear her little voice over the noise of the loud tanning beds running. But we made it through that. I would see her every so often, and she started to open up more, telling me stories and drawing while Mom was having her tan. What a sweet girl always went through my mind after our little visits. I thought this polite little girl definitely was the product of a good mom. I got to know her mom more, and I was right. Sammy has an incredible mom and family. Time went on, and I had a son, and Sammy would take time to play with him at the beach while her mom and I would have a chat. I saw Sammy on and off growing up. No matter how much time went between our little visits, we would just pick up where we left off. Her kindness and maturity always shined through. We who knew her are blessed because Sammy was so unique. Psalms 139:13. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. God created Sammy with such a beautiful, bright, shining soul. Soft strength, kindness, beauty, talent, and purpose. God never promised us it would be easy in this life. He never promised that bad things wouldn't happen to good people. There is evil in this world. God gave us free will and we suffer from others' choices at times. But God doesn't forget us. When we hurt, He hurts. Psalms 56:8. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. Sammy's purpose is not finished. Her spirit is still shining bright. Through this tragedy and hell on earth, Sammy is warning us to be careful. Be aware. She is also reminding us to sing with all your heart. Dance like no one is watching. Be kind and gentle to all the creatures of the earth and love each other. This is a heavenly soul. She understood the assignment of being a good human being, living her life well, and spreading these lessons to all her friends, family, and strangers she would meet. She saw the good, whether it be little or big, in everyone. She lived John 13:34. So now I am giving you a new commandment. Love each other. Just as I have loved you, you should love each other. Our souls live on. Choose kindness and love. Sammy will always be in our hearts and in our thoughts. She is connected to our souls forever. No one can ever take that away because love never dies.
Reading It Was Homicide was extremely bittersweet because now it was in black and white that my daughter had been killed, which I knew all along. I was having to reprocess her death all over again and take this information in. I was in shock. My body actually felt really unfamiliar with the emotions I felt. I couldn't actually talk on the phone. I had to get my husband to take over because I went into shock and anger and so many different emotions. I actually had to get back on the phone and ask her to repeat what she'd said because I always knew it was homicide, but I was fighting for it not to be accidental. And if it came back undetermined, then that would have been good enough for me and Samantha's name. This started the moment I saw Samantha. I knew something was wrong, and the very next day after Samantha passed, I went immediately into investigation mode, and I'm not an investigator or any of those things by any means. I'm a mother. Also, with this new finding of homicide, I'm hoping it will add strength to the OPCC complaint, which I don't think it needs. But my biggest dread in all of this, after all the work that I've had to do, which I should never have had to do as a mother ever, and I never want anyone else to ever have to go through what I've gone through, is that this is handed back to the Victoria Police Department. I would rather it was not investigated than put back into the hands of the Victoria Police Department, and it is left that my child was innocent and that she was taken at the hands of others. Now that after 3.5 years, I've received justice in part, that it was a homicide, which I always knew, that I'm done now. I've done enough work. Now the people who are supposed to be doing their job need to get these criminals off the street to protect other people, if they're not already off the street, and prevent this from happening again.
This is from Nana, Sammy's grandma. My first and most happiest memory of you was the day you were born. I waited with my niece Michelle impatiently outside the birthing room for you to arrive, and finally you came. I remember the nurse came out and said, "Baby girl, Mom and baby are doing fine." Michelle and I jumped up and down frantically like a couple of kids with so much happiness and joy. Then a few minutes later, I got to hold you in my arms for the very first time. I held you tight and immediately fell in love with you. So beautiful and perfect. My firstborn granddaughter. I remember thinking, how lucky am I? We had 4 bonding, wonderful, joyful months together. Then sadly, your mom and dad decided they could not settle in Canada. They missed England too much. The news devastated us all. I remember Granddad and I driving you and your parents to the airport, saying our goodbyes, knowing how much we were going to miss you. I remember thinking, my heart is broken as I just got you into my life and now you're leaving. But we had to respect your parents' wishes. I remember your granddad assuring me I could visit as often as I liked. The drive home seemed long and I cried for most of it. Fortunately, we were reunited not long after your return to the UK. We visited a lot. I loved being your nanny and the memorable times we spent together. You were such a good little baby, a good toddler, and an incredibly well-behaved little girl. Eventually, you came to live in Canada when you were 7 years old. We were all so delighted to have you back in our lives. Granddad and I were fortunate to have you most weekends, so we could spoil you. I remember you insisting on watching Disney movies. I would watch endless hours of Pinocchio and Dumbo, your 2 most favorites at that time. As you got older, dancing and singing were your passions. I loved it when you performed the Shakira song called Hips Don't Lie. You danced and moved your hips just like Shakira. I would cheer you on, clap and make you dance over and over again. You were our Saturday night entertainment. I would film your dancing so proud, but you always insisted, if I filmed you, to promise it would never go on social media. I was tempted to show off having a granddaughter who could sing and dance so beautifully, but I kept my promise and never posted any of your beautiful performances. Growing into a teenager, you loved watching makeup tutorials. You would sometimes practice makeup on me. I would say, Samantha makes me look 10 years younger, and you would chuckle and chuckle while making me look 10 years younger. You would put on my favorite songs on YouTube so we could sing along together. La la la, as I couldn't even remember the words. You always found that so amusing. I'm so glad we had so much fun when we got together. Samantha, our gentle soul, you were loved by so many. We all miss you every single day. I reminisce on all the wonderful family gatherings, good times, laughter, singing, dancing, your chuckles. Your chuckle was so unique. I'm grateful for the embedded memories. All of this will be in my heart till I see you again. I love you, PPP, the name I gave you, precious, pretty princess. Love from your nanny. Now I also have some words from Auntie Samantha. I have been lucky to have known Sam since she was the age of about 2 or 3 when Ashley and I started dating. I was 14 at that time, and Tracy was living with Gina and Charlie in Barrie, Ontario. When I first started going over to their house, I was petrified of Charlie. I'm so sorry, Charlie. I could barely understand anything anybody was saying, so I was just naturally drawn to hanging out with the cute, curly-haired little girl. And now when I look back, and since having girls of my own, I was like a free babysitter, which everyone probably appreciated. But honestly, since me and Sam met, she was my little shadow, and then became my roommate when I moved and lived with Sam and Tracy in England. I literally moved into Sam's room with her, surrounded by all her Pugsy stuffies and princess decos, and at that time it was a trio, just us three, a little family. As Sam got older, I became the cool aunt, and she was more like my sidekick. We would do lots of things together. I remember picking her up from school, going for petties, sleepovers, and lots of dog walks. She was such a kind-hearted, gentle, loving soul, and as much as I know she looked up to me, I also thought it was pretty cool that she thought so much of our relationship. I always looked forward to her being that cool, older cousin to my three girls, but life is unfair and cruel sometimes. But I know she's up there looking over all of us and hopefully taking Ginger on lots of walks. Well, love and miss you, Sammy. Your Auntie Sam. And one last little reading from a friend, Jess. I met Tracy in 2011 through her brother Adrian. We became fast friends. I also had the pleasure of becoming close with Samantha, who would have been 9 years old when I met her. Every time I came to their house to visit, I would always hear Samantha's sweet little voice with her adorable accent, "Jessica!" and she would run to give me the biggest hug. She would always make me feel like I was so special, but she was the special one. Sam was always such a happy girl and loved hanging out with all the girls at her house when we would be visiting Tracy. She was a part of our little posse. From dance parties to lake days to gingerbread house competitions, Sam was always with us. Sam would check in on me and ask how things were going with me. She was an exceptional young lady, to say the least. To say she's missed is a massive understatement. I will always hold a special place in my heart for Sam and will continue to remember her as the kind, loving, caring, outgoing little soul with the sweetest little smile. It's not the same without her, and it never will be. Love and miss you, sweetheart. Love, Jess.
Samantha is my stepdaughter, and what an honor it's been to be her stepfather. I just wanted to share a few memories of Sam that kind of sum up her character. Such a kind, amazing person. When she was 16, that's funny, about her driver's license. So maybe she was not that great at the start, but we did do a lot of lessons, and she did listen, and she listened to what the instructions I had. Maybe I'm calm and she understood, but she did well, and she got better, and I didn't need to repeat myself. She did understand, and she loved looking forward to our drives together. It was super fun. Never had to go over things twice. It was always really good that way. And another great memory that we had together was of our little dog, Kasha. We have a little puppy. It was a fresh little puppy, and we were doing so well of, puppy training her and letting her learn to go to sleep in her kennel. And yeah, Sam was over right at the beginning, and she decided to stop that right away, and it was cruel to have a dog in a kennel to sleep. So she decided it was better for her to sleep in the bed, which that's where she sleeps now. So the kennel sleeping is over, so that doesn't work at all. So it's so. But there's so many great memories. Thank you for sharing, everybody, tonight. She was just so kind and so caring. We had so much fun with. She made a great guacamole. She did such a great guacamole. It was really good, chunky, really good. But I wanted to just thank all of her friends for tonight. My wife did such an amazing job in putting this together. Thank everybody. put her hands together for Tracy and all the help of her friends and Teresa, Caitlin, you've been amazing. Danielle, there's so many, I don't mean to miss anybody, but there's been so many people that have come together and really helped put this together in such a short amount of time. And, you know, I just can't thank you guys enough for being there for my wife. She's been so strong and just so honored to be your husband.
Major crime investigators have taken on the case of a Victoria teen who died more than 3 years ago. Samantha Simms-Somerville's death was initially ruled an accidental overdose. A few weeks ago, the BC Coroner's Service said after reviewing its investigation, it now considers the death a homicide. CTV's Anna McMillan reports on the new police investigation.
Victoria's police chief made it public at a meeting in council chambers this morning that VIMQ, the Vancouver Island Integrated Major Crime Unit, is investigating Samantha Simms-Somerville's death. The 18-year-old died from a toxic dose of GHB, a date rape drug, after going to a party in Victoria in 2021.
Is there anything that we may have missed or may have overlooked? We certainly don't feel that that's the case. But because it's been reclassified from the coroner's service as a homicide, we think that the right thing to do is have a fresh set of eyes, re-look at this investigation, and then just determine whether the Victoria Police investigators took the right steps.
The coroner's service reopened its investigation after new evidence emerged, and in late October, it changed the initial ruling of accident to homicide. The service defines homicide as death due to injury intentionally inflicted by the action of another person. It says homicide is a neutral term that does not imply blame.
We're trying to get a little bit more clarity from the coroner's service as to what prompted them to reclassify this death as a homicide.
Manick says he plans to meet with coroner service staff next week. Sims-Somerville's mother, Tracy Simms, previously told CTV News she would welcome a new police investigation.
Justice will be complete once the people are held responsible.
As VIMQ begins its review of the case, a Police Act complaint against Victoria Police is pending. Simms filed the complaint claiming Vic PD's investigation into her daughter's death was inadequate. She expects the findings to be released in the new year.
Thank you, Anna. The Simms case has been closely watched by 4 City of Victoria councillors who want to raise awareness around the widespread use of substances such as GHB or the date rape drug in our community. Councillors Matt Dell, Jeremy Caradonna, Dave Thompson and Krista Lawton say they were concerned when the BC coroner ruled the case as a homicide and when more recently a 16-year-old Oak Bay girl almost died after her drink was spiked. Today they moved a motion asking the mayor to request a formal update from the Vic PD and School District 61 about any efforts currently being undertaken to raise awareness about and prevent the use of these drugs.
We want to make sure that young girls and boys too can protect themselves, and we want to make sure that there is some prevention in place so there can be a deterrent for the perpetrators of these horrific crimes.
4 council members hope their motion will raise awareness about this issue and, more importantly, get a clearer understanding of what the Victoria Police Department and school districts are doing to combat this trend.
I got my ticket for the long way round, to buy the whiskey for the way, and I sure would like some sweet company. Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say? When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair, you're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone, when I'm gone. When I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. I got my ticket for the long way round, the one with the prettiest of views. It's got mountains, it's got rivers, it's got sights to make you shiver, but I'm sure we'll look prettier with you. when I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.